In the battle for global dominance, rare earths have become the new oil. These 17 obscure metals power everything from fighter jets to electric vehicles to smartphones and wind turbines. China figured this out quite early, and quietly, it built a near monopoly on these rare earths.
China is doing that with rare earths. It's limiting this critical ingredient that no one else is producing.
This is why we need to be able to make our own chips and our own computers and our own products downstream, because it takes away leverage from China. They do have a lot of leverage right now.
Rare earths, great power, China's strategic weapon in the trade war with the US. Ladies and gentlemen, today we face a geopolitical fault line that is often overlooked. It is not just about tariffs, trade balances, or headline grabbing speeches. It is about the underbelly of modern technology, defense, and industrial power, the rare earth elements. As the Trump administration has aggressively confronted China on trade, Beijing has responded not only in tariffs and countermeasures, but by leveraging a resource that it already dominates: rare earth elements. In doing so, China is converting mining, refining, and supply chain control into geopolitical tools. In this presentation, we will examine how China built its rare earth dominance, how it is wielding that dominance against the United States, the implications for US industrial military capacity, and what the strategic response must be. Let's talk about what are the rare earth elements and why they matter. To begin with, rare earth elements consist of 17 metallic elements on the periodic table, including neodymium, dysprosium, terbium, yttrium, samarium, among others. These are not rare in absolute abundance, but they are rare economically viable concentrations and in the ability to process and refine them to high purity forms. What makes them crucial? Their magnetic, luminescent, and electrochemical properties mean they are central to high performance permanent magnets used in electric vehicles, wind turbines, and digital hard drives. Precision electronics, sensors, lasers, advanced defense systems, jet engines, missile guidance, radar arrays, unmanned aerial vehicles, clean energy infrastructure, motor batteries, energy storage. Because of this, control of REEs means control of high-tech, and control of high-tech means influence in modern global power. China controls roughly 70 to 90% of the certain parts of global REE supply chain, especially refining and magnet manufacture. That dominance, built over decades of subsidy, state planning, and consolidation, gives Beijing leverage far beyond mere raw materials. What's China's dominance? How did it happen? Let us ask, how did China arrive at this dominant position? Mining and extraction scale. China invested early and heavily in mining REE ore, particularly in places like Inner Mongolia, for example, the Bayan Obo mine. Many Western nations either lacked the geology or did not commit capital. Refining and separation. The most technical and polluting phase of the chain is refining ore into individual high purity oxides and metals. China built capacity here when few others did. Essentially, other nations often exported ore and China did the value added processing. Magnet and downstream manufacturing. Permanent magnets are a key downstream product. China manufactures around 90% of the world's NdFeB magnets. Government policy, subsidies, and export rules. China placed strategic emphasis on REEs, used favorable tax policies, state control, and in some cases export restrictions to nurture its domestic industry while limiting foreign competition. Global supply chain integration. China invested in overseas projects, developed infrastructure, and integrated into trade flows, giving it not just mining dominance but supply chain dominance. Because of this structural advantage, China is not simply a supplier of raw material. It is a gatekeeper of critical inputs for modern industry. Now let us turn to the United States under President Trump. The Trump administration adopted a hardline stance on China. Major tariffs on Chinese exports, demands for structural change, bilateral trade disputes. In that dynamic, China recognized an opportunity. Rare earths could be used as a strategic leverage. In April 2025, China imposed export controls on 7 key medium and heavy rare earths, including samarium, gadolinium, terbium, dysprosium, luteum, scandium, and yttrium. Related items. These are not trivial minerals. They have high value in defense, electronics, and green technology. The US is heavily dependent on China-based REE supply. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, the US lacks heavy rare earth separation capacity, and in short term, it cannot readily replace Chinese output. Thus, while Trump's trade war hit Chinese exporters broadly, Beijing hit back by targeting a supply chain weak point for the US military-industrial tech complex. What does using rare earths as a strategic weapon mean in practice? Here are several mechanisms. Export restrictions and licensing. By placing certain REEs on an export control list, China forces foreign firms, including United States firms, to apply for special licenses, delaying or restricting access. For example, the April 4, 2025 move required licensing for 7 categories of REEs. Selective supply disruptions. Even without a full ban, China can slow exports, raise delays, or restrict shipments to specific companies or countries, creating uncertainty. For example, United States imports dropped 37% in April 2025 and rare earth magnet sales to US fell 58%. Pricing power and market signaling. China's market dominance gives it pricing leverage. Commodity price spikes in dysprosium, terbium, yttrium illustrates how supply disruption can ripple through industries. Negotiation leverage. By making access to key inputs contingent on diplomatic or trade concessions, China alters the leverage in trade talks. Analysts describe these exports as bargaining chips. Industrial advantage. Because China supplies domestic industry cheap REEs, Chinese high-tech manufacturing magnets benefits, reinforcing structural advantage and making China less vulnerable. Meanwhile, US and allied firms face supply risks. In effect, China's control of REEs enables a non-kinetic strategic deterrence. It can disrupt US industrial and defense readiness without firing a shot. Implications for United States industry and defense. What are the concrete implications for the United States? Defense vulnerability. Many defense systems rely heavy on rare earth elements. Radar systems, fighter jets, engines, missiles, unmanned vehicles. With China limiting supply, US defense readiness may be impacted. Clean energy and high-tech industry risk. EV motors, wind turbines, data centers, and consumer electronics all rely on REEs and permanent magnets. Disruptions can raise costs, delay production, or force outsourcing. Industrial supply chain shock. Companies that thought raw material access was guaranteed are discovering the fragility of heavily China-dependent inputs. The US industry is still several years away from real alternative supply chains. Trade and negotiation leverage shift. The US may find itself having to concede or negotiate under pressure because of resource dependencies rather than purely economic competition. Allied coordination challenge. US allies may also depend on China for rare earth elements. This complicates coalition supply, chain resilience, and strategic alignment. The bottom line, China's rare earth element strategy reduces US margin and elevates risk in critical industries and forces structural policy responses. China's strategic objectives and risk. Why is China doing this? What are the Beijing's objectives? Geopolitical leverage. By holding the levers of critical material supply, China strengthens its global bargaining power. Industrial primacy. Controlling rare earth element supply supports China's ambitions in advanced manufacturing and clean technology. Technology war advantage. If critical inputs for Western defense and tech firms are constrained, China gains competitive advantage. Diplomatic signaling. Export restrictions send a message to Washington that China has tools beyond tariffs and can shift the playing field. However, China also faces the risk international backlash over use of export controls could push other countries to accelerate decoupling and alternative supply chain development. Market over supply or institution. Companies may invest heavily in non-China sources, reducing China's long-term dominance. Environmental domestic cost. Rare earth mining and processing are environmentally damaging China's must balance domestic sustainability. Beijing appears confident that strategic benefits outweigh these risks in the near to mid term. Thank you.